not God working in our lives, I don't know what is. Okay? And I'm going to share something else with you. So that money is free. But, you know, I've been in a lot of churches over the course of the last 20 years. And most of the churches that I've ever been in, you know, you have a large crowd on Sunday morning, you have just a mediocre crowd on Sunday night, and maybe a third on Wednesday night. But we've been averaging just about the same amount of people on Wednesday night as we do Sunday morning. So that's not the Word of God being proclaimed and God leading people and drawing them where He wants them to be. I don't know what He. Amen. That's what it's all about. Jesus said, go.
A lot of people that advertise on my Facebook, a lot of people have been asking me about it.
You know, He didn't say, accept my Son as your Lord and Savior, and then go home and sit down in front of the TV and wipe the sweat off your brow. And just glad I made it. You know, a lot of us thought that way when we first accepted Christ as our Savior, because we didn't really believe He would make it.
Yeah, one more question I answered on that.
What?
How do I bet?
Yeah.
How do I bet?
We're coming to you. It don't say you got to run out and buy you a brand new Easter dress or a three-piece suit. All right, we've been going through the New Testament. We're going through the book of Acts. In the New Testament, the last several Sundays, and also we're going to keep right on trudging along. You know, we've gone through from Acts 2 to 38. You know, what do you do? What shall we do once we get saved? You Peter, explain to you, you need to make sure that you save yourself and not just going through the motions, and then actually save. What do you expect? What's expected of you? What do you do when you first receive Christ as your personal Savior, and what are you supposed to be doing with it? Okay? Well, last week we talked about, what do you expect? Well, what Peter says to do is to repent and be baptized. Okay? And we've got about, and this is something we'll talk about this evening, brothers, when we have our meeting. We've got about 7 people or so that ask to be baptized that's waiting for it to be done. So sometime in the near future, we've got to plan a baptismal ceremony, and we had to clear something up. Last week, we've got probably the largest baptism in Baldwin in the surrounding counties, and that's Lake Sinclair. And don't worry about all these diseases the media tell you about us out there and all. We've been hearing that crap since 1969, and there was more people drowned in Lake Lanier last weekend than there has been lost life to these infections and stuff they say in Lake Sinclair since 1969. Little is much when God is in. Okay, don't let the devil try to distract you from what you're doing. So anyway, once we've accepted Christ as our personal Savior, last week we covered, what are you expecting once you get it? And it talks about go out there to the othermost parts of the world and share that knowledge of the saving grace of Jesus Christ with a lost and dying world, and you share the love of Christ with fellow believers that's already saved. So we understand all of that. So today's lesson is entitled Seeing the Real Need. Okay? So what you got to do when you're out there and you're trying, you may be the only Bible that some people will ever see. You may be the only form of true Christian living that some people out there would ever recognize. And you've heard this as much as I have. You get to talking to people about going to church and being saved and all, and the first thing they're going to picture in their mind is them three-piece suits and them little Sunday Easter dresses type things, and they're going, look, I got to clear this up in my life, or I've got to straighten this out in my life, or I got to do this, or I got to do that before I go to church. And if you let them fall for that lie told by Satan straight out of hell, they'll die and burn in hell. Because there's nothing in your life that you've ever done that'll prevent you from going to heaven. And there's nothing in life that you can ever do that'll get you into heaven. First off, if a person dies and goes to hell, it's not going to be for the things that they've done. It'll be because of what they are. And that's the sinner. And we got that sin nature from Adam, right off the get-go. Okay? So there's nothing we can do about the sin nature besides recognizing it for what it is. We're a sinner. We need saved, and we can't save ourselves. So how do we go about doing that? We recognize what Christ did for us on the cross, because he paid the price for that sin. He paid the price of sin for humanity, not just for one or two people or just a small congregation. He didn't do it just for the congregation that those mega churches draw together. Christ died for the sins of humanity. That's why that when he died on the cross, it became sin. He took the sins of humanity on his shoulders. It became so dark for a 3-hour period that you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. You know, the Bible tells us in Isaiah that he was so disconfigured that you couldn't even recognize him as a human being. And there's a reason for that. Okay? There's a reason for that. He didn't just die for my sin or your sin. He died for the sins of humanity. And it became so dark that you couldn't see your hand before your face because God the Father cannot look upon sin. That's when Christ cried out on the cross, my Father, why hast thou forsaken me? I want to point out, and this ain't in the Bible nowhere, but I want to point out something that I view on this. Okay? Why did Christ cry out on the cross, my Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Was he not God come to the earth in the flesh? And did not he come to this earth? Did God not send himself down here in the form of Jesus Christ to live a human life in the flesh, to experience the same things that we would ever experience, so that when we ever had anything going on in our lives, we could take it to him, and he would understand exactly what we were talking about and what we were going through. Is that what God did? Is that what Jesus did? If he'd have never cried out on the cross, because it says in Isaiah that when he was taken to trial and was beaten and scourged and all that, he never cried out like a sheep taken to the slaughter, not uttered a word. If he'd have never cried out on the cross, my Father, why hast ye forsaken me? He would have never expressed that human aspect that he came down here to experience. So when we get in our little pity pots and we get in our situations out there and we start carrying on, oh me, oh poor pitiful me, why me? Christ can put his arm around you and hug you and say, I know exactly what you're going through. I did it on the cross. He had to do that to have the full human experience. And he took the sins of the world. The lost people, saved people, the ones that's burning in hell right now. He took their sins on his shoulders on the cross. And he paid the price for it. He defeated sin and he defeated death on the third day he rose. Okay? So Christ knows what we're going through. Now, we're in Acts chapter 3 today. We're going to be covering verses 1 through 4. Okay? And like I said, the title of today's message is Seeing the Real Need. So when you're going out there and you're witnessing to people and you want to share the knowledge of the saving grace with them out there, are you recognizing their real need? Or are you just seeing a poor old pitiful person that needs the Jesus? How many times we've been run across people out there and you walk around shaking your head thinking to yourself, oh boy, that person so didn't need some Jesus. I now think about how many people that have done that same thing to you. Did they see the real need in you when they walked away from you shaking their head? And did you see the real need in them when you walked away telling yourself, so do Jesus? You have to recognize the real need. Acts chapter 3, verses 1 through 4. Now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer, being the 9th hour. And a certain man, lame from his mother's womb, was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple. Who seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked an alms. And Peter, fastening his eyes upon him with John, said, look at him. Okay? You know, it's sometimes hard for us to look at people in need. Okay? And sometimes it's easier if we see those people out there that's struggling with this or that, you know, to to maybe nod her head and look away and just keep right on walking. You know, we don't want to embarrass them by paying too much attention. Is that what we're really doing? Not wanting to embarrass them by paying too much attention? Or we just want to get away from them because we don't want to be faced with that kind of thing. You know, our society has called us not to do it. You know, our society has called us, when you see people struggling with something, it's probably in your best interest, time-wise, to just, you know, keep on going and go ahead and take care of your business at hand. You know, if a person is confined to a wheelchair since birth, a person confined to a wheelchair since birth once wrote about how she felt in business. She longed for a warm smile or a friendly nod. She asked that we allow our children to touch her wheelchair and to touch her, to not treat her as if she had a communicable disease. Her wheelchair and her deformity were not her choices. You know, she wanted us to know that there was a real living person inside the shell that we saw who had the need to be loved and accepted as well as to love others. Now, how many times have we been around people like that, being confined to wheelchairs or walkers or canes or this and that and the other, and instead of showing them some compassionate attention or showing them some love, we avoided them, or we made it our interaction with them as brief as possible and we moved on. I mean, I can raise my hand if that's what it took. Say, I know I'm guilty of that. You know, I've been around people like that in my life or come across them and just got out of my way, you know, just to keep from having to confront. But you know what? There's a real person inside of each and every one of us. And I'm going to tell you something that has touched my heart just here recently. And that's where I think God is talking to all of us through this message today. You know, we had a guy come to me not too long ago and asked me if our church would be interested in doing something that would help out a family who had a child that had special needs. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know, my first reaction to all of this was a reaction of reluctance. Did I really want to get us involved? Mainly, I can't even put y'all into this. I had to ask myself, did I want to get involved? Okay? So I talked to the guy, and I told him, I said, you know, if you have a chance, come out and talk to me and give me a little more explanation of what you're doing. Explain to me what you've got on your mind. And he did that. And he come out here, and we sat out there, and we talked, and he showed me pictures, you know, of the family and the baby and all that. And as soon as I saw the picture of the baby and seen that there was an obvious need there, and I didn't even know what it all pertained. There was an obvious need there. My heart just melted. Now, I'll be honest with you, I felt ashamed of myself. I felt ashamed of myself because my first reaction when I was confronted would myself or the church be interested in going out and doing something to help this family out, my reaction was I had a reluctance, you know, to even be involved. But when I saw that picture and I talked to him for a little while and he gave me an idea of what they were going through, I said, okay, listen, I can't make you no promises right now, but what I will do is you get me the contact information and I'll get in touch with this family and I'll go out and talk to them because I really want to go out and find out, you know, more of the whole story, and I can't do that by listening to other people. In other words, I can't go over here and ask somebody about this family if I don't go to that family. If I try to avoid that family and get information on what the need might be from other people, then I'm not going to the source. I'm doing just what today's lesson is talking about. I'm seeing a person with special needs, and I'm trying to avoid that person to find out, what can I do long distance? Okay? So he gave me the contact information, and I actually took the time, called the lady back and forth 2 or 3 different times, talked to them, got an idea of what the need was and all like that. And I said, okay, I understand, and this has touched my heart. Okay? So let's set up a time where I can come out there and meet with you in person. And she did that. And her husband worked, so it had to have been like after 5 or something. So I get out there, and I meet with the family. And actually, they bring the baby out there and all, and I'm sitting on one side of the room, they're sitting on the couch and all like that, so I'm sitting there talking to them, and they're explaining to me the medical needs. And they have the insurance. I think the baby's covered by Medicaid and all, but there's things that this baby experiences that Medicaid won't cover. And I'll just give you an idea of what one of them is. You know, this baby was having anywhere from 75 to 100 seizures a day. Okay, now in the state of Georgia, they do not recognize this CBD oil, this marijuana oil, or medical marijuana it's called. It's not illegal, but they don't recognize it. So Medicaid does not pay for it. They have to pay for this out of their pocket. Now, one thing that touched my heart before I was able to ask any questions about it whatsoever, they shared with me that Emma, baby Emma, was experiencing 75 to 100 seizures a day. This is a child that we just had a birthday party for that just turned a year old, that was having 75 to 100 seizures a day. And a nurse at the Children's Hospital put them in touch with the folks that could mail order this CBD oil to them and have them try and told them about the benefits that it might have for the baby. So they did that and started her on the treatment of this CBD oil. Okay? When they started that, this baby's seizures went from 75 to 100 a day down to, and I'm going to throw this word in intentionally, down to maybe some days, none. Okay? But this stuff, you know, their insurance don't pay for it. So there's a medical need. Now, I think what it cost, and I'm guessing, this was a number I heard from them, it's costing them about $800 a month. Okay? So, for something that's going to help this baby, now let me get back to my point. They're coming out of their pocket with it. And this family didn't ask for nothing. They're not the ones that approached and asked for help. It was a third party that just happened to run across them. They breed Siberian Huskies, and he went out there to see about getting a dog because I don't know the reason they just lost the dog anyway. They was wanting enough, and he run across the family. And this guy, Jamie Jones, is the one that came to me and asked if we would be interested in doing it. So anyway, when I go out there, I actually get to see baby Emma in person. They brought her out there, and I'm gonna tell you, if y'all know anything about me, my wife will tell you this. And I sat there in the presence of that baby. It didn't take for just about 5 minutes, and I had to have my hands on the baby. You know, I mean, I held the baby Emma, and you know, even with all her medical conditions that she's got, you can still feel the emotions inside this baby. She's a real live human being that needs God's blessing on her life. Okay? So this goes deeper with her than just helping them supply the medical needs that this baby needs. You know, the daddy of this family, they're all living with his mama right now, and this daddy of this family is building a house for them to improve their quality of living for the baby and themselves, and it's right next door to his mama or grandma. You know, so he's doing all this and never asked a person for a dime. So by going out there and meeting with this, it just touched my heart so much, you know, that I made a decision right there that we're going to do what we can do. You know, I can't make you any promises, but we're going to do what we can do to be able to help y'all out here. And I was so overcome with emotion that I came back and I talked to the brothers about this, and I asked Tony if he would ride back out there with me, because I really wanted somebody else to experience what I experienced and make sure that what we're doing is real. And there's the man sitting right there. We went back out there and talked to the family, went through all the spiel again. I got my picture taken with the baby again, you know, and all like that. And we talked about it and all, and the need is there. You know, they're not asking us to do anything for them. They're just asking us to just what today's message said. They're asking us to recognize them as human beings, God's children, and don't just try to avoid it. Step up to the plate and do what God has commanded us to do. Help His children. Help His children. So that's where this benefit run is coming from. We're going to put together this thing so that we can help this family help themselves. Again, they never ask for a thing. They're not the ones that ask for anything. Okay? God put the path across in all of this. God put this ball into motion. God's the ones that's done all of this. And I'm going to tell you from my personal experience through all of this, when y'all heard me say this many times, when you touch the heart of God, you move the hand of God. And when the hand of God starts moving, the best advice I can give you is sit down and put your seatbelt on. Okay? Because you're going to go for a ride like you have never experienced before in your life. And it's not going to be all fun and games and hunky-dory from start to finish. Just since we've started doing things like this, taking it upon ourselves to help God's people, and they're not the only ones, we've helped a lot of people here lately. When you start doing things, because that's what God commands you to do, and you touch the heart of God, therefore you're moving the hand of God, and He opens doors for us to go out and be able to do this thing. It makes the adversary, the devil, mad. And he's going to put his foot in the door every opportunity he gets and raise doubt and confusion and try to just destroy everything that God is trying to put in work. But you've got to be more powerful than that. You're not more powerful than Satan, but your faith in God has got to be strong enough to realize that He'll never bring you to it without seeing you through. Okay? So what we got to realize is when we're touching the heart of God and we're moving the hand of God, we've got to make sure that we're in a mindset, just like this morning's Sunday school lesson. You know what kept the nation of Israel out of the promised land? The lack of faith. The lack of faith. Okay? Their unbelief. And there was one part of today's Sunday school lesson that really touched me and stood out to me. You know, if you know anything about the nation of Israel wandering around in the wilderness, when they came on the edge of the promised land, you know, God said, just go in and possess it. I will go in before you. I'll go ahead and take care of all this. I'll take care of these people. I'll take care of these pagan people. I'll take care of these false idol worshipers. I have brought you to the land of milk and honey, and all you've got to do is walk over there and take it and possess it. It's yours. You know, they would have never had to fight a battle had they just listened to God. God would have used whatever He needed to use, whether it be locusts or hornets or plagues or whatever, and those people would have moved out, and the nation of Israel would have just walked right on in, opened the door, went on and dwelled in that nation. But what did they do? They went to Moses and they told Moses, they said, wait a minute, are we sure God knows what He's talking about? How about we just gather up us some spies and send them over there and make sure that God knows what He's talking about? We're going to go over here and see what we're faced with. God never told them to send those spies over into that land. He just told them to go in and possess it. So their unbelief, their lack of faith that God knows what He's talking about and do what He says He's going to do, and they use these lame excuses like, oh, we don't want to go off over there and jeopardize the well-being of our children, you know, and our wives and our livestock. Well, God says, okay, go on, do it. I'm going to pass it by you. I'm going to let you go on over there and do your spies. Bridget, how many of those spies was left?
2.
Of all of the generations of the nation of Israel, God kept them in the wilderness long enough. Joshua and who else?
Caleb.
Joshua and Caleb are the only ones of the older generation of the nation of Israel that ever got to experience the promised land. He kept them in the wilderness for 40 years until those older generations died off. And you know, they said, we don't want our children jeopardized. We don't want their safety put at stake. The children are the only ones that got to witness the promised land. God already had them taken care of. But their unbelief and their lack of faith that God meant what He said and said what He meant and said it just how He meant to say it cost them the opportunity of going into the promised land. Moses never even made it into the promised land. Okay? And Moses was the man God chose to lead the nation of Israel out of captivity. You want to know why Moses didn't go into the promised land? It was his lack of obedience. Okay? God, the nation of Israel was whining about not having fresh water. God told Moses to speak to this stone, and fresh waters of life would flow from that stone. And Moses let his temper get to it, and he took his staff and he smacked the crap out of that stone. Well, God furnished the water for the nation of Israel because He did what He said He was going to do. But he told Moses, I didn't tell you to get that stone. I told you to stoop to it. Therefore, you will never see the promised land. And he did. The whole point is, when God lays a burden on our shoulders, when God tells us that there's something we need to go out there and do for Him, do we recognize the real need? Or do we make excuses in our head, or do we try to chase rabbits? Do we go do the end around on our own terms, saying that we're going to do this for what you say the right reasons are, but we're going to find ways of doing it our way and not your way? Do you see the real need out there when I stand up here and I tell you that when you're out there in your workplace or in your shopping place, in your Walmart or the grocery store or wherever you may be, you know, do you take the time to ask people, hey, has anybody told you today Jesus loves you? Do you know what the real need is why I ask you to do that? Same reason I used that quote, and Don, you'll remember this too. It's the quote we used to have on the front of the Sunday school building off to the side right there. They will not come. They will not seek. They must be sought. They will not come. They must be brought. So if you don't go out there and share the knowledge of the saving grace of Jesus Christ and tell them that there's a place they can come and feel comfortable with, they're not going to come on their own because they don't know that a place like this exists. All they're going to see out there is those big mega churches in that snotty Joel Osteen standing up there with all of them 10s and 18s and 20,000 people out there thinking, oh, that must be what it's all about. You know the last time Joel Osteen preached on the shed blood of Jesus Christ? If you do, tell them about it, because I've never heard him preach on it. All he wants to do is stand up there and preach a prosperity type salvation. You know, you come into my church, you listen to my teaching, and God will pay your car off for you. Send me your electric bill. I know you fall much behind on it, but send me your electric bill. We'll put it in hot right here and we'll draw it out. God will pay that bill. You know how many people are sitting in the dark because they fall for that crap? You know how many people are living in rental properties now because they got behind on the payment? And some of them are not just a little thing. He just makes it easy to pick on him. But he's not the only one. You've got these other false televangelists out there, you know, like Peter Popoff and Benny Hinn and all them things. You ever seen Benny Hinn get on that thing? I seen this somewhere on Facebook. Like, he waves that coat around, he does like that, and people fall down. Only thing I can be, he probably got one of these in his pocket. He hit him in the head, knocked him out. Okay. Yeah, God's in the healing business. But he ain't in the showboating business. Yeah, and my mama was alive and she was sitting right here on the front pew, like she'd probably get mad at me and threaten to take me outside and whip me if I said this in front of her. But you know, you got people like Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts believed in that healing. Well, let me ask you a question. If God put the showboaters in the healing business like Oral Roberts, why didn't he build a multi-billion-dollar hospital? You ever thought about that? If all he had to do was speak to them and they'd be healed, why would he need a $100? Why couldn't he just show up at the house? Same. God wants you to seek him. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all else will be yours. Okay? Seek ye first the kingdom of God. God is in the healing business. But let me tell you what he's even in more business to do. He's in the forgiving business. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and a drug addict. I truly am. I've been clean and sober for over 18 years. Okay? I read that part in the Bible where it says when Jesus sets you free, you're free indeed. I don't know what Paul's personal life was in the Bible, but what I do know is he had a thorn in his side. And in the Bible it says he prayed, God, take this thorn from me. And God says, I will use your weaknesses for my strength. And Paul says, okay, fine then. If that's what you want me to do, I'm going to take this thorn in my side. It never describes what that thorn is. He said, I'm gonna take this thorn in my side and I'm gonna keep on keeping on just what you put me out here to do, what you saved me to do, and I'm gonna keep on. Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles. The 13 epistles of Paul have been out there to save more people than anybody else in the Gentile world. Okay? So the way I look at that is, although I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and a drug addict, that didn't take that desire, and I'm gonna tell on both of us, okay? Oh, she's looking around like, what now? Me and her both, she's been clean and sober for a long time too. We used to go to the baseball games. I'm talking 195-degree weather. Okay? And we'd be sitting down there trying to get as close to the field as you can get. And here come these hoppers. You know, the ones that got all them drinks. They come down through there and they walk right up beside you. You look over there and here's this Budweiser thing about that tall, about that big around. They ain't what they look like. All that condensation all over the outside of their can. Don was sitting there one day with her face about as red as it is now. He walked up down there and I looked at him and I said, hey, buddy, hey. I don't really need that beer right there, but I'll give you $1 if you could let me run my finger upside that beer can if I can get some of that. It was 120 degrees, so we said. The point is, I am a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict today. And when I see those things, I still have that desire. Okay? Pop that top and partake. He didn't take the desire away from me. He didn't take that thorn in my side away from me. But he did take the compulsion that I would just reach out and do it. See, I'm one of them hard-headed type people. I quit drinking June 8th of 1990. Stayed sober for 8 years. Something that's just as simple as somebody say, oh, what are you making that Budweiser look good? I reached in there, popped the top, and right back off to the race. Took me 4 more years to quit me. Yeah. So I know how easy it is. When you're folks in AA can tell you that alcoholism is cunning and baffling and powerful, they're talking to you the truth. Just like Satan. He's cunning, he's baffling, and he's powerful. Second most powerful entity that's ever existed. Okay? You don't have to fall for it because although we as born again children of God are not stronger than Satan, I serve a Savior that is. I serve a God that will not ever, in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, says, do not face with any temptation that's not common to man. But with every temptation, God is faithful and just and true to give you a way out. So today, when I find myself faced with those situations, I know what got me there the first time, and I know that there's a way out. So when you're sitting around home and you're thinking, well, it's going to be easy for me to take that pill and make myself feel better, that's a lie told by Satan straight out of hell. You find yourself guilty of it. Jesus Christ is true and honest, and he's guilty. We don't have to be perfect this side in this lifetime, this side of glory. But we can't seek forgiveness. You can't go out there. If you're a true born again child of God, you can't go out there and live like hell. Because if you do, you have misdirected the idea of your salvation. If you're a true born again child of God, you're a true born again child of God, if you have truly sat down and accepted Christ as your personal Savior, and you can keep going back out there and drinking that alcohol and doing them pills, you better question your commitment to God, not God's commitment to you. And I'm going to tell you something. You're sitting around a bunch of people right now that can recognize what you look like when you use it. God's talking to you. God's talking to you. If you can claim you accepted Christ as your personal Savior, and you can keep on doing what you used to do, you better question yourself. Because God didn't save you to stay out there in that hell and that lifetime. God saved you to go out and reach the people where you used to be and bring them into where you're at now. In closing, when we see somebody in need, do we reach out, reach in our pockets for some loose change and run the other way? Or do we look straight at him or her and see the real person hidden inside? Be honest with yourself. How do you feel around people who are not like you? You know, the people that's in the wheelchairs, the deformed people, the homeless people, alcoholics and addicts, or mentally retarded people. How do you really feel around those people? Are you uncomfortable? Are you wishing you were somewhere else? You get back out there around users, you know, alcoholics and addicts. Do you find yourself wondering, well, you know, could I go back out there and be where they're at and enjoy myself out there again? They ain't enjoying themselves. They're telling themselves a lie. They're following that non-existent brass ring. They got caught up in a lie told by Satan straight out of hell. There's no enjoyment in that. The feel-good stuff that your mind's trying to convince you of, Satan got you again. Be honest with yourself. How do you feel when you're around them? You feel pity? You feel sympathy? You feel angry? Yeah. Yeah. You feel like, okay, you know, I stand around and I talk to other persons till I'm blue in the face, and obviously they ain't heard a thing I say. You know, I accuse people all the time. I can say whatever it is God leads me to say. But until a person truly turns their life over to Christ as their personal Savior, they're only going to hear what they need. There's a fine line between hearing what you need to hear and turning it into hearing what you want to hear. Are you really willing to look at that person for what they are? They're alive human beings. They're people in the need of somebody sharing the love of Christ with them. They're people in need and have somebody put their arm around them and tell them, has anybody told you that Jesus loves you? But Jesus loves you. Amen. And I do too. And I wish nothing but good for all of you. Everybody. All of us sit here, all the lost and dying that's out there in the world, and all of the saved people out there and in here that's struggling at times. I wish nothing but the best. Are you really willing to look at that person, or are you afraid of what you might see? What I might see don't scare me a bit. I've been around, I've seen, you know, y'all heard me stand up here and say this more than one time, okay? I've drank more liquor and done more drugs than most everybody in here has. There's always that yes. I was the one that sat out there in that world and said, listen, y'all don't know me. I've done what I've done for so long that I couldn't fit into that other world. Well, you're sitting in that other world. Okay? There is hope. There is hope. Most gracious and almighty Heavenly Father, dear Lord, I ask you to begin in the service with what needs to be said today be said, and what needs to be heard be heard. What I just lifted the congregation up to you, I lift those forming and souls up to you, Lord. I just ask you to put your loving arms around them and let them know that there's nothing that they can do if you want to give us part. There's nothing, Lord, that they can turn away from if you won't turn around. The prodigal son thought he had it better on the other side of the fence, just to find out, Lord, that there's nothing